was from the previous team, team three, and she was able to recently secure a job, and she yesterday got selected and completed one of the client interviews. So I pulled her up to give you out what is this current what will be what will be the use of this session and how you need to prepare. Purnima, you also need to tell how they need to prepare other than what I say in the training session. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
So welcome you again,
hi,
Purnima. Please take it up.
yeah. Thanks, Vajran. Thanks for connecting me to this new team. So, like Vajran said, we were in the previous batch, and see, I was actually working in another company, not into automation, but my passion was always automation. So last year, I upskilled myself, and whole of last year, I worked in automation, but I got through a company in some other role. I took up whatever I got. So I wanted, so that's my story in short. So I was out of touch with whatever I did last year. In the last 6 months, I was working somewhere else in some other area of interest. So I wanted to come back. So in that sense, I had a lot of gaps in terms of what are all the latest things that are there, and also my coding speed had reduced, and I was just a little. I needed those things to put it together. So I had asked Vajrang, will it help this course help a person like me? In the beginning, I had those doubts. Where I'm not currently coding, I know only the basics, but I want to secure a job in that field. So I told him certain areas what I have just gone through in the websites and all that, and he said yes, all this will be covered. Whatever we asked him, he said everything will be covered. So I was like, okay, this is a 30-day session, so how are we going to cover this? That's so. But the way he explains and the way he intertwines whatever concept is there into the project, everything will be hands on. So when you do hands on, even if it is a small piece of code, when you do it hands on, it kind of enters, you understand the flow. For example, I'm sure you would have had a taste of his RE framework explanation, right? I saw a few of your comments in LinkedIn as well. So that the way that it's in a game format, right? So that was so much fun and learning. So his simplicity of teaching and all that helped me a lot. Of course, the important thing is, whatever he says, like let's say he gives a project, and you have to discuss and complete certain parts. Keep internal goals because it's only a 30-day course. So if he gives you a project that has to be completed in a week, plan your daily things and say that okay, for this I will be, spending half an hour or 1 hour today for this concept, and I'm going to crack this part, whatever happens, even if it takes longer time. So I think if you plan like that, by the time you end this course, you will also, completely get the full advantage of what Vajrang is trying to tell us, And Vajrang doesn't have a fixed curriculum. Like he doesn't say, oh no, I will not be teaching this. I will teach only this. And secondly, it's another thing that, you get a team experience of a real-time scenario in that sense where, you share with GitHub. See, we can always share it through emails or WhatsApp or Teams, but he uses GitHub, and there is an error when you commit and how to resolve it, and you just observe. So there are many things that gives you a confidence that one up to go to that job. See, there is some gap between what you learn theoretically and doing non-live projects, which was in my case, right? I was doing some small projects, not really live. I have not used RE frameworks. I hadn't used Orchestrator much. I hadn't used GitHubs. I hadn't, done any team in the sense all these kind of real-time scenarios. So the flavor of everything I got in those days, 30 days, and I was surprised that actually whatever I wanted was completely covered. So Vajrang, I was really surprised. So thanks, and he also coached me and everyone. I mean, whoever asks him in the team for any kind of personal guidance other than what was there in the session. For example, for me, suddenly a hackathon came that I had to resolve to complete the interview. And then I got, of course, I got first was the interview call, and for that he gave me guidances. He first assessed me on what I'm talking, and then he also said, what are my strengths and weaknesses, and what I should not do and what I should do. So that when somebody gives a expert gives a comment on that, we know our he reflected what I need to do. And yeah, so that, and then I had hackathons. Obviously hackathon is something that is given to you for a short period of time. They wanted immediately. My coding speed was very slow, so he pitched in. I was doing it. He was literally sitting with me till you know I 1:30 in the night. I mean, let's not bother him for 1:30 in the night. My scenario is, it was like I had to done. So what I'm trying to say is, Vajrang just gives his all. I mean, he's not here to make money, or he's not here to just for his own benefit. I don't think of it that way at all. It was more like, what do you want to do? How how can you be more comfortable? And so I am really grateful to Bajrang. So whatever I am today, and yesterday I had this client. Of course, I got through the main company, but I had a client interview. He was an MVP actually who was interviewing me from Germany, and I was quite nervous. I was Vajrang knows how nervous I was. I'm still am. That I think that's one step at a time. I need to just keep going. Um, so it was fine. He whatever was there in the hackathon, since it was clearly understood and whatever was done, and he used RE framework and he went with the right way, and that is what the client liked. Uh, you know, and he asked me a lot of questions on that, and I called him. I called Vajrang yesterday, and I told him, I don't know how I cleared this interview, but I did. So thank you, Vajrang. Thanks. You have this. This has been actually as dramatic as it may sound, but this has actually been a blessing for me, from heaven, I would say. At the right time, the right guidance came. So thanks, Vajrang. That's that's it from my side.
Thank you so much for your excellent, or what I would say. I am overwhelmed with your talk, Purnima. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
So
Vajrang. I mean, this is truly from the heart. So
I do understand, and every word that you said was felt to the heart. Thank you so much. So Purnima, I still believe you have time. Do you have time?
yes, I have time, Vajrang.
Okay. So what I want you to do, I want you to pick uh, a few members within the team and ask them interview questions, or you can say you can ask whatever question you want. Be an interviewer, pick a member and ask. And everyone, you can also clap. There is an option on the top. Instead of raising hand, you can clap as well. Just check it out. Just give it a claps for Purnima.
For me,
Yes, so
sure,
so we cannot unmute everyone. So please accept the claps from virtual way.
sure. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
So I don't see their names.
Uh,
Uh,
okay. Let me just
I
add you up, Purnima, right? Let me just.
yeah.
Okay, I am making an attendee. Change. Okay, can you please check now in the chat or in the
Uh,
show participants?
oh yeah. Show participants I'm able to see.
Yes. So you can pick anyone. So this will be an interview. Go ahead.
Yeah. Shivam, is he there? Shivam?
Yeah, hello, Purnima.
Hi, Shivam.
Hi, Purnima.
Yeah, so can you tell me about yourself? Give me a background of what you're doing and talk more about the automation space.
Yeah, hello, my name is Shivam. So currently I am working as a technology analyst in Infosys. So I have an experience of 4 years, and I have experienced 4 years in C Sharp and .NET. So and some hands-on experience on automation. Mm,
Okay, when you say hands-on experience on automation, what exactly have you done?
Yeah, I have created few projects in RE framework and document understanding.
Okay, you have worked on document understanding and RE frameworks, is it?
Yeah,
So what is it that you did in document understanding?
I have extracted the invoice and details like invoice number, invoice date, bill number, bill date from a scanned PDF as well and digital PDF.
Okay, so from my understanding of document understanding, you will need to have OCR engines, right? You will have to select
Purnima, you need
OCR
to ask
engines.
questions for everyone, not only Shivam.
Oh, okay. Uh, so why am I choosing Shiva then? I'm not clear.
You can pick one question for one member, and you can continue asking.
Oh, like that. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
got it, got it. Right. So I'll go with Venki.
Yeah, hi, Bruno.
Yeah, hi Venki. So tell me a bit about yourself, what you have done.
Yeah, so this is Venki Oluri. So I have been working as a product manager in a startup. So it is completely out of domain from the automation, and I'm obviously a beginner to the automation, and I know the concepts in the UiPath, and I want to prepare to the interview. So yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
joined.
okay.
Okay.
So if you, yeah, so my recommendation will be to parallelly go through the academy material, and since you don't have uh, much experience in UiPath coding and all, so you will have to kind of get into the basics and understand selectors and certain other concepts which are very useful for real-time scenarios. So one is selectors and about using browsers, and there's modern version also. All that you just go through it and learn the basics.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you
So
so much, Venki. So everyone treat this as an interview. This is not a training session. This is an actual interview that's happening from an interviewer. You cannot say that you joined this session because you want to learn. There is an interview. If you will you say that you are joined it for training? No, right? Treat it as an actual interview. Purnima, go with the next one.
yeah, Shankar, Shankar is here.
Yeah, hi
Hi
Purnima.
Shankar, tell me
Good
more
morning.
about yourself, please.
Yes, myself, Shankar, I'm working in Deloitte right now. Currently, I worked in IBM as a Win Automation and Power Automate developer.
Oh,
I do have some good knowledge on UiPath.
okay.
Yes, Purnima, you can ask the question.
What are the so you know good knowledge of your part and you know good knowledge on Power Automate. So can you tell me what are the differences between the two and which one do you prefer and how do you decide what tool to use? So
Yeah,
tomorrow if there is something that's come up, what
yeah.
are the factors that you will consider?
Okay. See, I mean, Power Automate, Win Automate is a desktop automation. Okay, it's not fully. I mean, the licensing cost of between UiPath and Win Automation. Win Automation is lower price. Even still, I can automate all the. I mean, Citrix-based automation and SAP mainframe. Everything I can automate. Coming into UiPath, the accuracy between UiPath and Win Automation, I will go with the UiPath. Only licensing cost is the less in Win Automation.
Okay. Sorry, when you say Win Automation, is it you mean Power Automation, right?
Yeah, both are same. I mean, Win Automation, Power
I'm
Automation.
new to that, so I'm sorry if that's
No, it's okay.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, see, whenever I am going with the UiPath for running the process from the back end, I mean, unattended mode, I need to purchase the licensing cost of orchestrator and everything, right? So, in Win Automation or Power Automate, it doesn't need. So, still you can do because in this Win Automation or Power Automate, we don't have concept called orchestrator or something. We do have only studio.
Okay.
In their terminology, we can say designer.
Okay, so that's why you can use only as a desktop application, is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah, even still we can use a web automation also. Now the version is changed, 9.0 is running, so we can automate everything. Even they recently Win Automation is acquired by Microsoft, right? So they are integrating with AI and everything. I mean, data, machine learning, AI and uh, cloud also they are integrating with their tools.
Okay, so in the studio itself, they without an orchestrator, they're directly integrating the cloud version, is it?
Yeah, actually in Power Automate, there is Power Automate flow is there
Okay.
already. So now they are integrating with Power Automate Desktop, PAD. Okay.
Okay.
So they're, I mean, they're integrating with Azure and AWS and cloud and cryptography.
Okay. So can you tell me, Shankar, since you have, handled multiple tools, so if a project comes to you, okay, let's say any project, you can take anything. What are the first steps for? Okay, what are the questions you will ask, and what are the factors that will determine you to decide which tool to use? What are the first basic questions you will ask? What are the things you will look for to decide, before a client comes and says, I need to automate this process. So how will you approach that?
Yeah, first I will ask them how much time does that robot should learn every day. So if they are going, so it will kind of per day, right?
See, actually, when you start talking to a customer, right? The customer is naive. He doesn't know about bots. He's having manual processes. He's having some other things. So you guys, if you come to some customer and say, okay, how long will your bot run? Won't he be clueless, isn't it?
Yeah.
So from a layman point of view, how will you talk to a customer, and what are you going to take away from that? Like how will you go with the flow? What are the factors you will consider? What are the decisions you will take, or what are the factors you need to take decisions? So I hope my question is clear.
Yes, exactly. I will ask them, I mean, how much time the process should run, how many, I mean, per day, how much run I should give. I mean, if it is fail, this kind of questions I will ask them, and I will check their licensing cost, and I will let you know. Suppose if they are using some um, uh, uh, if the process is some kind of simple and linear, so I will ask them to go with some this tool. If the process is complex or something, I will check with some X tool. So this will be my factor.
Okay, my 2 cents on this, which I learned from Vajrang's session last time. Okay. So first and foremost, what we need to probably check is whether the process is automatable or not. That will be the first question, right? So the customers will come and say, we have these things, can you automate? So we have to decide first, whether these are automatable, whether it's fully automatable, partially automatable, or whether it's non-automatable. If it's too many handwritten documents or too many decision makers involved and all that, whether it's worthy of an automation is something that we need to understand, right? So that will be the first step, and the second step will be to see, okay, now these number of people are taking how long for doing this, and if at all these are automatable, okay, the automatable parts, whether it's worth it. Of course it comes with a cost. So how do we compute the cost? We take the total time that is taken for this process along with the divided by the number of like you have a total number of efficiency for the bot, right? Like for example, if the manual process is taking you 3 months and the bot is able to do it at a quicker time, and the cost involved is comparable in the sense that the amount that you are investing with this manual people and the amount, of course, the added cost that you're investing in the automation, if it is going to save, for example, if your bot is going to run only 5 minutes in a year, then that is not going to save you, you are saving, putting so much money, and then you're just running it for 5 minutes a year. That's hardly any saving of time or cost, right? I mean, it's in fact you're adding to both. So we will naturally eliminate, you'll go ahead with the manual itself, or maybe some other option. But if your bot is going to save 80% of your time, it's going to run probably every week for 8 hours a week, or however it is. So in that sense, so the cost computation is very essential to understand how frequently your bot runs and whether it is worthy of an investment. And thirdly, we'll have to discuss about what are the exception scenarios, what are the business exceptions and what are the system exceptions, because that is an integral part of automating. So when you understand that, then you will be able to place yourself in a better situation. Okay, so these are all the things. Okay, so many exceptions may arise in this because of their structure is like this. So I will go for this kind of automation, or it's some smaller size company and they can afford only so much, and they are okay with automating a certain section rather than the whole of it. So I will go with a cheaper tool. So that kind of things, Vajram, please add on if I may have missed any point. So we discussed all of this in Vajram's sessions. So these were his inputs and our group discussions that led to this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Purna. That yeah, we'll continue because we have limited time. If you want, you can drop off and say if you don't have time, you can drop off. But if you have time, you can still continue with the members. And no need to ask now. No need to ask for their uh, uh, the- like background or anything. Just ask them few questions. Let's see if they can answer or not. And you,
Okay.
even if they are,
So,
if they don't answer, tell that that is correct, and we'll discuss it in our training session. Or else you are giving the complete training session, and I don't have anything to train them.
oh, okay,
Okay.
fine.
Thank you so much for giving the answers. But yeah, just ask the question and then tell correct or not.
Okay. Yeah. Vijay, is Vijay here?
Yes, Purnima, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Hi, Vijay. So I'd like to understand what are the options that you will choose in determining, what kind of OCR engines. Have you worked with OCRs before?
I didn't work with OCR engine, but I know the basic idea about OCR engine.
Okay, what are the areas you've worked on with respect to UiPath?
With respect to UiPath, I worked on RE framework.
Okay.
Yeah,
So can you tell me about, what is the basic structure of the RE framework, and yeah, and what comes where, and how, what do you decide which modules to put where, and what is the basic flow and construct of an RE framework?
yes, Purnima. Actually, RE framework basically consists of 4 states: init state, get transaction data state, process state, and end process state. In the init state, that is the beginning of the workflow of RE framework, where I can initialize the applications or download files for whatever the variables or everything what I'm using in our application, that I can initialize in the init section. So here I can mainly do with the config file initialization. So config file basically consists of 3 sheets: settings, constants, and asset sheets. In settings sheet, I can mention the URL of the application and folder paths. Sometimes I will provide the credential details in the settings sheet. Coming to the constant sheet, sometimes when occurring of system exceptions and these kind of things, I can specify how many times the bot has to retry. So that auto retry number I can mention. So if I'm using the queue, I won't mention auto retry number, that I will specify as 0. If I'm mentioning other than queue inputs, then I can go for mentioning the number like 2 times the bot has to retry particular transaction item when it gets any system exceptions, those kind of things. So coming to
Okay,
the
so the
assets,
init state, there is a first run and there is other section also, right? So
yes, yes,
what
I'll
to
tell
determine
you.
what goes into the first run and what goes
Yeah,
into the other section?
yeah. First one will check whether the particular initialization happen for the first time we are running the bot or the application. So for the first time, it will check is there any exceptions during initialization process. At least system exception during the initialization process means the bot will come to the end process state without going for further states. If nothing happen, means no exceptions in the init state, then the control flow will be goes to the further examples like init all applications, init all settings. So we'll mention the config details and data dictionary values for the config file. Then it comes to the get transaction data state. So where particular transaction item will be bring from the init state and that is given to the process state.
Okay. Okay, there is a particular scenario where
Purnima,
what is the
next question.
status when a queue is
Purnima.
added in the.
Purnima, continue to the next question to the different person. You can continue the questions now.
Okay. Siddharth? Siddharth here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear your volume is a little low.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the status? So my question is, can you hear me? You're able to hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So what is the status of the queue when a new item is added in the queue?
The status will be new.
Okay. So what happens? Can you tell me when and where the status changes? At what position? Can you explain the stages in the RE framework where the status changes? And
yeah, once we get the transaction item, I mean queue item via this transaction item status, the queue item the status will be changed to in progress. Okay. So once then the control will be into process transaction state where the process will be completed. Then in the finally block in the set transaction status XAML, the status of the item will be updated, whether it's failed, it's successful, whether it's retried, like that's it.
okay.
Then again, get transaction the next item.
Okay, what happens if a process doesn't run as expected? Where does it go? What happens? What happens to the status, etc.?
If it is not, if it has not, then it will become in progress only for some time. Like maybe if you are not touching it, then it will be turned as abandoned.
So you will have to do exception handling, right? So that is one part we need to speak about. Business and system exception and the status will change there.
You can ask that question to the next person.
Okay. So Akash.
Hello.
Akash? Yeah, hi Akash.
Hi, Buddy.
Yeah, can you talk about how the system handles errors in terms of the orchestrator flow? What happens when an error occurs? What kind of error will it be and where do you handle it? And how do you handle it?
System exception, right?
Any exception. It can be any exception. I can't hear you, Akash. Maybe you have to be a little loud.
Hello.
Yeah, it's better now.
So we generally in RD framework system or any kind of exception is handled in process transactions.
Where in process transactions? What exactly do you there?
In process transaction, after processing or actually exceptions are handled in the try catch block. Actually, I'm not able to express the concept.
Yep. Purnima,
That's fine. No.
Continue with the next person. That's fine.
Yeah. So Pallavi, can you? Are you there? Yeah. Pallavi, can you just take on from what he has said about the exceptions? Where is it exactly caught? How is it caught? And where exactly you're changing the status of the transaction? depending on the result of the exception, and where do you handle that particular piece of code?
So can you just please repeat your question?
Yeah, so
Because I missed
there
it.
is a process that there are n number of transactions that are there in the queue, right? So some are successful, some are not. So when they are not successful, there are two scenarios that may arise. There is an exception, that is a system exception or a business exception, right? So where do you handle this exception, at what position, and what happens to the status of the transaction after the exception is raised, or it's whatever you are doing with that?
So in the process state, there is a finally state, right? So in the finally, there is a set transaction status. So there we can handle these, and there we can mention all those exceptions. I think because my concepts is not clear yet.
That's fine. That's
about
fine.
the
I think
framework. So sorry.
Vajran can explain.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I took this.
Purnima,
Yeah.
next question to next
Okay,
person.
Bhaskar. Yeah, Bhaskar.
Yeah, hi, Purnima.
Hi. So Bhaskar, regarding the orchestrator. So see, there are okay. Can you tell me what are the 3 ways, or 4 ways, or 5 ways, or 10 ways, whatever number of ways that you can execute the code, run the code, basically? What are the n number of ways you can run the code, and yeah, just talk about that.
I think I may not answer the question because I just started the UiPath and I'll be here. So, and only 2 sessions which he covered, he is not here. We're just going to commit the commits in Git. So, till that time I was aware.
No problem. Mahesh, can we have the answer for that, please?
Yeah, hi, Purnima. Even I have started my career. I started as a beginner here, so I think I'm not going to answer the questions. Sorry for that.
I have a request.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just please tell me about that? Whatever your question asked me, can you just please?
Pallavi, we are going to answer. We are going to discuss each and every question that's asked by Purnima. Let's go further because we still have members to get the questions, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
Okay, we will go to Salman. Salman, are you there?
Yes. Actually, I'm new to UiPath. I don't have much knowledge on it.
Okay, that's fine. Sushant Arunachalam.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Hi, you can call me Purnima. That's fine.
Okay, Purnima. Actually, I'm a beginner and I'm also a fresher. This year, I graduated this year.
Okay.
And I saw Vajrang's training, and so I joined UiPath.
Okay. Okay.
Purnima, I actually forgot what question.
That.
Purnima, I actually forgot what question you started asking.
No. Actually, the question is, there are n number of transactions that are happening in the queue, right? So there are a number of transactions. Some are successful, some are not. So the question is, when the transaction is successful, it's fine. Everything goes on fine. It goes to the end process state, one step after the other. What happens when there is a problem? So there is an exception that arises. So there is a system or a business exception. Where exactly do you handle that, and which position where is the location where you're going to change the status of that?
Okay.
Yeah, Purnima, I think in process transaction we should handle that.
Okay. So what I can do is let's take this as the last question. Purnima, you please answer to this question, and then we'll wind up for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Vajrang. So yeah, I mean, it will be in the set transaction process. So Vajrang, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm also just saying what I know. So yeah, it will be in the set transaction process. Of course, it will be in the process transaction state. In that, there is a set transaction status where you will identify. There is a flowchart kind of thing that is there where you will identify whether there is a business exception or a system exception. And if there is a business exception, what are the rules that you're defining, and accordingly you can change the status in that set transaction status there. So that is my.
Sorry, I said I answered that question.
Yeah, you did. You actually did. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Purnima, for joining in and for giving your experience to the members. And you might have understood like what is the combination of team that we have. And the previous team was very small, but if you see now there are 19 plus members who have joined in. So it will be tough for me too. And guys, I cannot train each and every person. That's the reason we have this group conversation, but still then we will have what you need to discuss. And what Purnima and other teams did is they actually scheduled a call in the afternoon rather than the one that we are doing now. And they literally sat down and discussed on what was discussed in the morning session, and they implemented it by themselves. That's what is the success factor. It's not my training, but that 1 hour that they spent after my training to complete whatever task that I'm giving is the success factor for getting their jobs or getting into the next opportunities. So thank you so much for taking up those sessions, Purnima. And along with you, we have other team members also who are doing the same in their respective teams. I will collaborate everyone who attended the training in a month. So be ready for that. And I seriously wish you all the best. And any question you have, please post them in the groups, and let the community know, and they will definitely help you out. Not this. Go ahead and post in UiPath forum. That's the place where you can get any answer resolved.
Right. Thanks, Vajilan. Thank you so much. Any support you need from me anytime, please. I'm very happy to pitch in if it can help anyone. Thanks a lot.
Definitely. After you get a first salary, send me a suite. That should be fine.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, Vajilan. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All the best for everyone here. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much, Purnima. Bye bye.
Thank you, Purnima.
Okay, guys. So we are back with our meeting. It's not a training program again. It's a meeting. So how did you feel the experience, and what are your take on that? What is your take on it? Siddha, you may need to recheck with your mic actually from tomorrow at least. Let's go with others.
Yes, Vajrang, Shankar, it was nice experience to get the person from, who got the coaching or some kind of training. So at least we should get a kind of a confidence from them. So how this training should go, kind of thing.
Exactly. So don't ask about curriculum and all. We have 4 weeks and 4 projects should be done. That is the curriculum.
Yes, I clearly got to know that when Purnima said don't ask curriculum to Vajrang, whatever he will let you know on that day only.
Yes, correct. Okay. So any others? We still have 7 more minutes. We can talk that 7 more minutes.
Actually, I have also given like 2-3 interviews, but failed to crack about in those interviews. And I have read down those questions. Some of them are similar to the which Purnima asked. It was a great experience.
Okay. So what I suggest you is in the Pallavi, can you please share your screen? Let's go with your screen share. And by the way, were you able to correct your resume with
Sure.
help of Surabhi? Pallavi?
Yeah.
Were you able to connect yesterday with Surabhi to complete our correct your resume?
Yeah, we are working on that. She will let me know
Okay,
once she corrects some points in my resume.
sure, done.
We'll let you know after that.
Yeah, Pallavi. So please share your screen, Pallavi. Let's see what you have in the Teams.
Yeah. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, go to the Teams channel, please.
Yeah.
Okay, now go to Team 4 Notes.
Okay.
So everyone should have the access for this channel. Please confirm if you don't have the access, just drop in a message with your email. I'll give you right away. I hope everyone does have access. So everyone, please open the same notes.
Vajra, I couldn't able to see. Only I can see hyper hackers in general.
Okay, what's your email ID?
Shankar879.
Shankar879@gmail.com.
Yes, Vajra. Yes.
So I just added you as a member. Who else? Can you please drop in the chat? Shankar, please confirm you should get the notification now. Rani.ajitha@gmail.com. I've given you access just now. Just go ahead and check.
Watching myself, Lakshmipati CY@gmail.com.
Lakshmipati CY, given you access.
Okay. Thank you.
Next. Others, please open. So, Pallavi, what you can do on the left side, there is a stack button, right? Click on that. Left to all meetings. No. In the Teams, in the notes itself. Below undo.
Okay.
Below undo.
Yeah. Okay. This one.
Yeah. Show navigation.
No. Okay.
Okay, these are the recording links that I'm keeping. Please don't disturb anything. If you are having any link, you can paste. But for now, we have 4. Yesterday's meeting recording, I'll paste it. So you can just add one more page for it, or you can add one more section. Go ahead and add one more section.
Initially you have added some links, right?
That was deleted because everyone started working on a single line of their page. So we'll do it again. Just add a section, please. At the bottom, you can see add section.
Yeah.
Just give out interview questions. Yep. In the untitled page, just mention questions and then everyone start writing the interview questions here. I'll be waiting for 2 more minutes. So someone is testing. Please don't test it. Everyone will have access.
Vajra, still I am not able to see this. I mean, RPA developer in 30 days stream.
Okay.
Can I share my screen once?
What's your name? What's your email ID?
Shankar879.
SHANKAR or anything else?
SANKAR.
Yeah. SANKR879@gmail.com. Now check for it, please.
Sir, I'm Sushant.
Tell
Even
me.
I'm also not able to see that RPA developers, sir.
What's your email ID?
Ganesha Swoosh.
What is your registered email ID, please?
Registered email ID is sushantarnachalam.2017.
Yeah. So that's what. Okay, yesterday you have given your Gmail ID, right?
Yeah, Gmail ID. Yes.
Let me just update that for you.
Okay.
So everyone, please go ahead and add questions. That's what we'll discuss, and this will be your time to tell about all the questions that you want to get answered to. Sushant, you may need to re-register with the new Gmail ID into the Teams. So I'm just inviting you. You,
Okay, sir.
you can delete the previous ones actually. Okay, third question we are having. Others just add it. No need to add only to the next one. Just add anywhere. You can click anywhere and you can just type in. There are multiple questions. Explain about state scenario framework. Same question duplicated. Sushant, I have given you access for Gmail ID.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Others, are you adding your questions?
Yes, well, it's loading, I think.
Just check in.
Vijay, can we add some questions after this meeting also?
Yeah. This is available. This is accessible.
Okay.
At any point of time. See, I'm not restricting anyone to not to talk to anyone. This is your team and you need to communicate with your team. Without teamwork, we cannot do it. Okay. So
Yeah. So
please plan for any sessions or any meetings later part of the day, and please communicate and work together.
yeah. So Vijay, I have an idea. Can I share with you?
Yeah. Tell me, please.
So after this session, we can connect. I mean, the team members, and we can discuss different kind of questions, and we can ask each other the questions. It will be very helpful for
Not only that, you can
the
also
revision.
do collab sessions how we are doing, and you can work on a single code and work on it.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that also. And we can ask the different kind of questions in like in interview perspective,
Yes, you can do that.
so that we can build our confidence also.
Sure. You can do that.
Vajran, I need to set up that GitHub. So can I share my screen?
Yeah. So we'll be closing the session. So Mahesh, please set up your show us your screen, and we'll complete your setup, and we'll
Yeah,
close.
I have been downloaded the desktop for GitHub,
Yeah. Please
and I
share your
just need
screen.
to. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
So I came to the app and
Open GitHub desktop.
saved it.
So now everyone in the team have access for team 4?
Yes, sir.
Vajrang, in the middle, can we discuss one question?
Yeah, tell me please.
Actually, in one of my job description, I saw online, how can you migrate Blue Prism app or application to UiPath 2?
Okay, just say that I haven't worked on it, and the answer is when you are when you want to migrate, you just need to create a new separate workflows, and you can use the existing workflows, and you need to create because you already have all the process documents and all the process flows ready. You just need to create a code.
Okay, while migrating from one tool to another tool, can we go for any backup storage, those kind of things? Anything what we have to consider data safe to keep the data safe side?
Okay, all you need to do is check with the logs of the existing transactions and see how they are maintained. And if we are maintaining, so for example, few organizations use SQL as a transaction log. So just to have an understanding of like if the particular transaction is completed or not, because data in Blue Prism cannot be converted to UiPath, right? But if we have SQL can be integrated with both tools or SQL Server as a database. So that you can try to integrate so that you can reuse, and you can reuse the existing PLDs and SDDs, and you can also reuse the flows, process flow charts and all. So other than that, we cannot have a code completely migrated. We need to rewrite the code. Mahesh, click ahead and click on sign into GitHub. Yes. Any other question, Ruiji?
Yeah. Just I saw only 2 lines in the job description. They asked like UiPath tool experience, and in the second line they mentioned migration of Blue Prism to UiPath tool.
Got it. Mahesh, do you have access or do you have registered to this GitHub already?
This is Anita.
Tell me, Azza.
Just now I have answered one question in the interviews. I can see, but now it is not showing. Because
That is because there are different versions that is getting created. So this problem we are having. So let's work with Word from next time, so we can avoid this issue. On the same page, you can see there are different versions available. We just need to copy everything into a single version. We'll do it.
everyone, the other questions are easy, but I cannot see my question. That is the reason. When I first typed the question, it was there, but now I can't.
Yeah, I got it. All those are in conflicted pages.
Oh, and one more thing. Last month I installed GitHub, and everything I have done, even I have created one file in the folder, and whatever the changes I am doing in that file, it is showing in my GitHub page. But the thing is, I cannot see this online. Like you were there, right? You were the main version. I could not see my name or my files on that online.
You need to make a pull request. Okay. Okay. Click on authorize, please. Give the access and click on authorize. So in the second session that I have shared about GitHub, or third session, we discussed about how to make a pull request. Or Pallavi knows it better how to make a pull request, but because she was doing it continuously. So please connect with Pallavi.
Yeah, I will help.
Yeah, I have seen almost that video 4 to 5 times. And when the last,
Your voice is not properly audible, if you ask me.
am I audible now?
Mm, you may need to retry. But please, can you type in the question?
Vajrang, I have another question.
Yeah, tell me, please.
It was asked in previous interview. Have you worked with Azure tokenization in UiPath? So they are asking this question.
How
I
many
faced
years,
in
how
two
many years of
interviews.
experience have you placed?
I possibly due to consultancy problem, I kept 4 years of experience.
Even I haven't used Azure tokenization. Just say you don't know. All the bullshit questions.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I didn't get opportunity to work with this.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people are using.
No. People are not. None of the projects are using Azure tokenization. That's for sure.
Okay, okay.
They might be using it,
Some
and they are just checking people who have that knowledge.
some people are so much crazy. They are asking like, have you implemented a hide and seek bot? Those kind of questions they asked me. I told them I didn't get chance to work on a scenario like that. People
Yeah.
are so crazy. I do not know if they are from India or from US conducting the interviews. I got so many different kinds of wide variety of questions.
Place all of them. Okay. What I'll do is instead of team 4 nodes, I'll create one more. I'll remove the RE framework game. Uh, I'll add one more tab called interview questions as a Word document. So please go ahead and all the interview questions. Just a second.
Hello.
Yes.
Vijay, can you answer the first question? Which I posted in queue?
Okay. What was that? I didn't get that.
On exception in process, where
Okay.
it handled, how it handled, and how the status transaction is changed. I just want to check my understanding.
Okay. See, any kind of transaction will first go into in progress state when it is picked up by the robot. So that's when the actual transaction activity starts. And when it is moved into process state and completes the process, it can be either business rule exception, system exception, or success state. 3. Okay. So if it is success state, then it's well and good. But if it is business rule exception, then we will send email to specific stakeholders. If it is system exception, we will send an email to either the developers or respective stakeholders who need to validate why there is a system exception. If there is a retry mechanism in orchestrator queue, then then the bot itself will retry after some system exceptions. But rarely we will send it to any kind of business users with respect to system exception. We'll send it either to a developer or stakeholders. Okay. Yes. So I have created an interviews question doc. So what you can do, instead of adding it to there, you can just add it in the uh, files or in the interview questions doc. Just let me add it. Make this a tab. I have added make this a tab. Okay. Okay. See that there is an interview questions. On the left side in the files, you will definitely see all the notes and all the files. So please go ahead and add all the interview questions over there. Yeah, Mahesh, click on finish. Okay, and let's see. Go to GitHub website and my repo, github.com.
Shankar, this said I have one question. Can I go?
Yeah, please.
Bajrang, when I am installing the UiPath in Office laptop, okay, it's coming in MSI, not in .exe file. So whenever I'm trying to install it, it was asking me sign in, okay. I have connected with my Gmail, but I'm not able to see UiPath Studio. It's showing that UiPath robot is not connected in orchestrator something.
Then you need to connect your orchestrator. Yeah, got it. So you need to connect your orchestrator.
Okay.
To your you need to connect your orchestrator to your robot or your machine. Then you will be able to access. Because right now UiPath licensing is a bit changed. So if you are connected to orchestrator with community version, you can still work. What you can do is instead of connecting to orchestrator, if you want to work, there is an offline option as well. So check with that option in the licensing. When you're selecting the licensing, you will get it. Okay. So RP developer in 30 days, and then it's code, and then open in GitHub desktop, open, download. Okay, there is. Okay, got it.
I think I have already downloaded.
Yes. So the problem that was happening was you are not linked, or you are using a different URL, if I'm not wrong. So
I have been used the URL which you have shared in the Teams.
Correct. But the Chrome is different, so you have two different users in Chrome. That might be a reason. So here, let's go ahead and github.com, sign in, continue with browser. So this is what we need to get the access completed for. So let's see, private access, full access. You just need to authorize this desktop, or else this will be tough for you. Can you remove all the, or can you open default browser as Internet Explorer? Let's wait. Default web browser.
Where you get that file, the interview question?
Interview questions is in the files.
The GitHub.
Yep.
If orchestrator is not, we are not connected to orchestrator while using the RE framework. So how can we edit something like? Because this is the question regarding last.
So how can we edit?
Yeah, how can we edit? Like if we want to edit a credential or something, all that thing, how can we edit that? I told him that we have an Excel setting.
So yes, so if you don't have orchestrator, then say them that you need to log into each and every machine to update it. You need to log into each and every machine to update any credentials. But if you have any shared credential manager, then you can link with that.
No, he's asking like whenever we build a project, we just publish over the orchestrator. And suppose if it is not orchestrator is not present, so how can you run the project or how can you deploy it?
Oh, that's okay. So when your orchestrator is not present in your machine, then you can locally create a package. When you're publishing it, you can create a package locally, and then you can take that package, Juget package copy, and upload it manually. Okay. So Mahesh, you are having an issue with your machine. You are not able to access. Are you using your office laptop?
It's my personal.
So just restart it once. You should get access, or you should be able to see details in GitHub. So let me just take up Vajrang RPA. So let's see if you can users. So did you understand my answer? So if you don't have orchestrate access, you need to go ahead and download the package and upload it again and give it to members who have the access. Okay. UiPath RPN 30 days. So did you fork my code?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are not able to use your existing license. So we are creating a new secret repo. Repository secrets is what you have given. Settings, integrations. There should be some option here to get a API key. Limit to existing interaction. So others, if you want to leave, please leave. I need some more time. You already have GitHub option, right, in your machine?
Yeah.
Just try to pin it once. You should have it in program files. Okay. Okay. There was an issue with your Edge browser. That's it. Just go ahead and log in. Is this the one? Allow users GitHub desktop. Yeah, this is done. So you can continue with the steps, further steps. Okay. There was an issue with your Edge browser. We changed the browser, default browser, and then we worked. Okay.
How do we connect the code?
Clone it.
Can it?
Click on clone. Just a second. You already have the access, right? Just click on clone. This is the repository. You already have it. Just click on clone and go. So GitHub. Yep. You'll have all the repo in your machine. So Vijay, you are saying some Vijay or Ajita, who's facing issue with committing, make a pull request.
Yeah, myself.
Ajita, please share your screen.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah. Okay. Go to so there are changes and there are 3 pull requests. Click on that pull request. Okay. So ago by George. Let me see if I have the pull requests or not in my GitHub.
You are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, I am able to. I got 3 pull requests from Pallavi, Shiva, and I'm accepting all the changes. Approved. Squash and merge. Squash and merge. Pull requests. Okay. Pallavi created a test project. Squash and merge. Ajita, I have your pull request as well. It's with Glory Joseph, not with Ajita. Okay. Create a new pull request, please.
Here only.
Yeah. Main day one. Is that your what is your repo? You need to go to repo and then you need to make a pull request. What is your repo? Click on fork. Yeah. Now make a pull request. Go to pull request and click a pull request.
In highlights that it's saying that the only person is not a member.
So this particular Ajita is you are already a member. So what you can do, click on code on the left side. On the left side, code. Click on pull requests. Yeah, now create a pull request. So this is how you will ask me permission.
This is the thing I'm getting when I'm creating new pull request.
Because there are no commits in your code. So go back to GitHub desktop. GitHub desktop, please. Application. Can you give me the access?
How to give it? Because I'm very new to this things and all. So
That's fine. That's fine. Give me the access, please.
Hello, right?
Yeah. So you need to first commit to main. You should have seen the video of GitHub. Okay, then you need to push it to origin. So to make updates in your code.
Actually, the video is not clear actually in the YouTube. It is too, very, lifeless. I can't. That commit, I didn't click it. I was checking for that push origin from last night. I'm unable to click on that. So this is the reason.
No, that's fine. So here you can go ahead. So all the changes will be there in your folder, Ajita, right? So if you can see, there are changes now. Okay. Now you need to make a pull request to make the change in my code. Here you can see create a pull request. So if it is green, then it will show to create a pull request. Okay, and let me approve it and keep it open so that you will see the change right away. Approved. So that open will be changed to merged. Yeah. Your code can be seen in my repo. Click on code, my code. Yeah. So see there is Ajita folder. Yep. So 20 seconds back, this got updated. Okay. Yep. So tomorrow we'll work on the code. We'll make some pull requests and we'll approve some pull requests and all. You're welcome. Bye everyone.